Welcome to Setting and Achieving Goals Exceeding Expectations. In order to view this PowerPoint presentation, simply click on the presentation icon that you will find in the upper left-hand corner of your PowerPoint screen. The slideshow will begin and you will be able to see as well as hear the presentation. Welcome again to Setting and Achieving Goals, Exceeding Expectations. Hello, I'm Dr. Cynthia Henson Graham, and I'm your facilitator for this workshop on setting and achieving goals, exceeding expectations. Welcome to this workshop, and I hope that this will be a help to you as you're journeying in your success to parenting as well as achieving the goals that you have set in various areas. Just briefly about me, I am a model of success as well as a model of experiencing and overcoming failures. I have been an excellent student and a high school dropout. I finished high school by earning a GED, but I have also graduated from Valencia College, Rollins College, the University of Central Florida, and Asbury Theological Seminary. My vocational experiences have included working in retail sales, customer service, Yellow Pages sales, telephone services. I've been a check encoder at a bank, substitute teacher, and a paraprofessional. Most of my professional life, I have been a teacher, a counselor, a dean of students, an adjunct college professor, a chief compliance officer, and a minister of the gospel. Right now, I am serving as an instructional support teacher for Orange County Public Schools at Orange Technical College, Mid-Florida campus. I have been unemployed, underemployed, well employed. I have been married and divorced. I am the mother of 3 adult sons and have been a single parent. I have faced challenges and overcome, and I have faced challenges and struggled to persevere. My latest accomplishment is being the author of a book entitled Help, It Still Hurts. I am so happy to have this opportunity to share with you at the Baby Institute Parents Paramore Kids Zone, being a part of the alumni class. Thank you so much for your participation. Of interest to me is the fact that I am working with you in the Paramore area, and I was born and raised and for the first 5 years of my life at 808 West Federal Street. The foundation of my educational, spiritual, familial, parental life was laid right here. I attended kindergarten at 1025 West Livingston Street, and our family's home house was the transitional house where my dad's parents raised he and 16 siblings. 4 of the brothers and their families lived in that house also, and each of them started families there. 2 of my cousins and their families have lived in the same house, so our family has a long history of being in the Paramore area until the early 2000s. Paramore is a place of rich history and wonderful beginnings. I trust that your experience here in the start is the start of something both great and historical in your life. One of my favorite sayings is carve your place, then make your mark, and leave your legacy. I hope setting and achieving goals will help you to do just that. As we begin this workshop on setting goals, achieving goals, and exceeding expectations, I want you to think about what will you be doing, and where will you be, and what will you have achieved 1 year from today, 2 years, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, 15, even 20 years from today, if you only do what you're doing today. Think about it. A goal is something that can be achieved or attained. We can think in terms of goals as being either immediate, short-term, or long-term. If we look at immediate goals, this is something that could happen within minutes, hours, 1 to 29 days, and no more than 3 weeks. Immediate goal. For instance, could you get that laundry done today, or at least by tomorrow? If you had the laundry done, could you have it folded by the end of the day, at least by tomorrow? So an immediate goal is something that you can do. And so we should have immediate goals every day that's going to lead us. And we'll have these goals in perhaps many areas. The second type of goal is the short-term goal. This short-term goal means something that could be accomplished within a month to 6 months. For instance, if you decided that you were going to go back to school, that might be an immediate decision that you make, but your short-term goal would be to decide on where's the place, what might I decide to study on. Within this month, or 2 months, I'm going to go to the school. I'm going to get some more information about courses that are possible. I'm going to find out about the procedure that I would have to go through in order to enroll in that particular school. The next type of goal, then, would be the long-term goal. Looking at our example of going back to school, you might say, okay, within 6 months, I'm going to have my application done. I'm going to apply for financial aid. I'm going to go through that process in order to be eligible to go to school. However, I won't be able to enter until August or September when school starts. And then the other part of long-term goals is that there are some aspects of it that may take you years to complete. For instance, again, if you start school in a particular year, you're probably not going to finish that program in that same year. It might take you 6 months to some years to complete the program, depending on what you decide to study. So goals can be achieved immediately in the short run, or some of them may take years in order to complete. Achieving any and all goals requires you. That's right, you are an important ingredient. In addition to you, there are, and I'm holding up my hand so that you can see, there are 5 requirements that you will need to meet in order to obtain your goal. The first one is skills. The second one is work. The third one is a right attitude. The fourth one is commitment. And the fifth one is time. Can you hold up your hand? And can you use each one of your fingers as a reminder of what you need to have? First is, that's right, skills. Second is work. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the camera. The third one is a right attitude. The fourth one is commitment. And the fifth one is time. Meeting those 5 requirements plus you will equate to putting forth positive effort. Achieving goals is not always easy, but it is always doable. Meeting those 5 requirements, putting forth that positive effort, is what makes it doable. The fact that you have to make a commitment is what makes it not easy. Understanding that positive effort is a continual process. So setting a goal or goals is only the first step. It is an important step which provides focus and direction. If you're going to achieve your goals and exceed those goals, you've got to stay focused, you've got to gain a focus, you've got to stay focused, and then you need to go in the right direction. You have to remember that achieving your goals will not only take you plus that positive effort plus focus and direction, but achieving your goals will also take work. Say that with me. Achieving my goal will take work. Not just half-hearted work, but hard work. And lots of it. I just needed to pop in and say that sometimes achieving some goals is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Write it down, start working on it, execute, accomplish. And sometimes achieving some goals is as complicated as 10, 12, 14, 20, 100. That means that there may be many, multiple steps and stages that you have to go through in order to achieve those goals. In addition to being willing to put forth positive effort, I also need to take some tangible steps. So what is it that we can do in order to make sure that we are achieving our goals? First, I need to write my goal or goals. Writing my goals will help me to stay focused. Secondly, I need to realize that I need to take multiple steps, or that there may be objectives that I need to work on. So every goal is not going to be accomplished 1, 2, 3. Sometimes we need that 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 14, 15, 20, 25 steps in order for me to accomplish each step of reaching that goal. Thirdly, I need to design a plan for reaching my goals. He who fails to plan, plans to fail. So I've got to make planning a sincere part of accomplishing my goals. Then fourth, I need to find people who can help me to reach my goal. And for some of you, this may be difficult because you're not an outgoing or an assertive person, but there are always people in places who can help you to reach your goal. So ask for that advice, make that phone call, do the research on the internet. There is a way of finding people who can help you to reach your goal. And then fifth, you need to move away from people. Please say that after me. I must move away from people, places, situations, and or circumstances that will not help me to reach my goal. That's worth saying again. I must move away from people, from places, from situations, and or circumstances that will not help me to reach my goal. I'm going to find people who can help me. I'm going to move away from people who won't be able to help me. This does not mean that you stop speaking to family, that you distance yourself from friends, but you have to put that space between you and those people who are not going to be positive influences on you reaching your goals, even setting your goals, and then working on attaining your goals. If they are not with you for the long haul related to this, then that's when you have to move yourself away from that particular person. When I set goals, my goals should be specific, They should be measurable, they should be attainable, they should be realistic, and they should be timely. So let's take a look at each one of these. The S is for specific. That means that I have to define the goal as much as possible so that I have no unclear language. Who is involved? What do I want to accomplish? Where will it be done? Why am I doing this? What's my reason, my purpose? Because again, sometimes people or circumstances will try to get you off track. So you want to identify anything that is a constraint or a requirement that I will have to meet. So I need to be specific about what my goal is. Secondly, my goal needs to be measurable. Can you track the progress and measure the outcome? How much? How many? How much? How will I know when my goal is accomplished? How many hours do I have to spend? How many days? How many weeks? How many months? Is it measurable? How much energy, effort, support do I have to put in order to accomplish this goal? Is it measurable? Third, if my goal is SMART, is it attainable or achievable for me? Is this goal reasonable enough to be accomplished, and how will that be so? The example that I use in this is that I ask the question when I do this workshop live is, could I be an Olympic swimmer by the next time the Olympics occur? The answer to that is no. It's not achievable for me because I don't have good swimming skills to start. And there's a long way from being a beginning swimmer to being an Olympic swimmer. Could I become a swimmer? Yes, that is specific and that is attainable for me, measurable. Could I become at least a swimmer who won't drown by the end of this summer? Yes, I could do that. But to be an Olympic swimmer when I don't have the skills to start is not achievable. It's not reasonable enough for me. And I really don't have a purpose. That doesn't fit into my life purpose for what I want to accomplish. So you have to make sure that your goal is not out of reach. And the reach is, are you willing again to put in that hard work, that effort that it's going to take? Stay focused and go in the direction that will lead you to that goal. Which leads us to the fourth characteristic of a SMART goal. Is it relevant? And again, Olympic swimming is not relevant for where I am, who I am, or what I want my life to amount to. So can you have some goals that will require risk, that will require a lot of work, require a lot of effort? Yes, but they have to be relevant for you. So is it worthwhile? And will it meet your needs? Those are the questions that you have to answer. Not is it a goal that somebody else has accomplished, but what does it mean to you? Is each one of your goals consistent with other goals that you have established and fits with your immediate and long-term plans? If the answer to these questions is yes, then go for it. If not, then let's set some goals that are attainable, that are relevant, that are reasonable for you. And then finally, in terms of a goal being SMART, is it timely? What is your time objective? What's your time limit? There are some things that may take you, again, months, years, days to complete. But if that's within your time limit, great. I had planned to earn my doctorate degree by the time I was 35 years old. It did not happen within that time span. I was actually 55 when I started working on it, and 59 by the time I accomplished that objective. I had set a time limit, but my time limit did not work, so I expanded it. And it's okay to expand your time limit, but you need to have in mind when you plan to accomplish each one of the goals that you. As we're coming to the conclusion of this workshop, There are a couple of things that you need to know, and one of those is that success in life will happen because we set goals in multiple areas of our life. You ought to have a spiritual foundation. Not trying to tell you what you should believe, but I'm telling you that you should have a belief system that's foundational in your life, that's based on your spirituality. You ought to set some parental goals. How many children do you want to have? What does a family look like to you? How are you going to see about the children that you do have, and what are your goals for them as a parent? You should also set environmental goals. What do I want my home to be like? Where do I want it to be located? What size do I want it to be? I may not be where I want to ultimately be, but what are my goals in terms of where I'm going to live and where my family is going to live, where we call home? What are the educational goals that are going to help me to realize my financial goals as well as my vocational goals? Education is the key to my finances being where I would desire that they would be, and vocational, where I'm going to work, what I'm going to be when I grow up, what I'm going to be after I grow up. What kind of work is it that will be satisfying to me, that will help me to make a contribution to myself, to my family, to my community? What are some personal goals? What are some things that I want to do for myself, for my life? Then what are some recreational, and we're going to pronounce this two ways, recreational and recreational. What am I going to do for that physical well-being in my life? And then what am I going to do to reinvent myself, to reframe myself, to renew myself? Those are recreational goals. I hope that this workshop has been beneficial to you. I hope that you will achieve success in your life by setting, achieving, and then exceeding those goals. Again, I'm Dr. Cynthia Henson Graham, and I've enjoyed sharing this time with you. To complete this workshop, should you decide to do so, this is an activity where you can begin and set a SMART goal for yourself. Now, again, as I suggested in slide number 13, that you should have a goal and goals in a number of areas. But if you'll just choose one and then use the steps from slide 10 and use the questions from slide 12 in order for you to set at least one SMART goal. And if you set that one, it will lead you to setting others. Go forward, achieve greatness, enjoy life. Thanks again for allowing me to share with you in this workshop.